Welcome to my world! Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So we are going to do a review using the Yoyage Polygel, and I'm going to be doing also a review on this mccart 36 watt LED lamp, because I know a lot of people don't have past 36 watts and I want to know if this would work with this polygel. It has 18 LED lights and it's so cute, and it has two options, 60 seconds and 30 seconds. So this is what the polygel looks like. It is called Yoyage. I don't know how to pronounce this, so if this is wrong, please let me know if it's wrong. I'm pretty much sure it is because I don't know how to pronounce a lot of things. So it's pretty much this polygel I used on my clients and I really like it. Also, we're going to use Martha Stewart glitter chariot and a couple glitters that I got from Pooh's Corner. Don't know if you guys remember these little cute little females back in the old days, but we are going to bring them out and make a trend out of them because I miss using these little female slices. But first, to avoid bubbles on your polygel and everything, make sure you clean out your brush from all the residue and everything from your old set, and make sure that you wipe it off on a napkin, making sure that the brush is damp, not saturated, because if it's saturated it'll cause bubbles, and if it's too much then most likely it will lift. So this polygel, I find it to be a little bit too firm for me. I don't really like the polygels that are firm, but this one I got it to work, and I did have to warm the polygel up a little bit because over here it is freezing outside. It is so cold, so my polygel did not work correctly. It didn't want to move down or nothing, and that's because it was cold. So what I did was I allowed this to like settle just for a little bit, just let it sit there for a little bit because it was cold, and then it worked really good. So what I'm doing is I'm just adding like a very thin coat of the polygel all the way down at the nail, but because it was so cold it was hard for me to drag down, and then my nail tips kept on popping off of my hand. But don't worry, we got it working. So what I did was I put my polygel in warm water for about like 5 minutes, and it started to blend down even more. So the brush that I'm using for this polygel is from mccart. I like this brush a lot better than the other brushes that I have because I feel like I have more control with the polygel with this brush because the brush is not hard or nothing. So we did add a thin layer of the polygel, not too much because I just wanted a thin layer so we could go ahead and put the glitter on top. And I got a discount code for this Yoyage polygel if you want to use it to save on some coins. One thing I noticed from like all the polygels that I have been getting is if they're too cold, they don't move very well. I didn't really like that about the polygel. Not this polygel, but just all the polygels, you know, all together. They all work the same when they're cold. So if you are having problems, don't panic, just put it in hot water and it'll go. And these tips did not stay on my little Flexihand over here. And you guys, I need a name. So do you guys want to name my Flexihand? Because I don't know what to name it, but these tips just kept on coming off and it was just making me mad. It really was. So, you know, I got over it, and so what I did was I just started dragging the polygel down, and then I just decided to take it off with the hand and do it myself, because I'm actually like really new on using this Flexihand, so I don't really know what kind of tips work for it and everything else. So I would definitely never use these tips again on my Flexihand because I just completely got frustrated and I couldn't move the polygel like I needed to because I was so worried that the tip was gonna fall off, because I'm not sure why. Maybe it was a little bit too slippery. I had the same size and everything. It just didn't work for this. And I'm so glad that I only had like 5 left. I think I had like a whole pack left, but I won't be using this again for this Flexihand. So like, if you ask me what kind of tips these were, I don't know where I got them from. I got them on AliExpress, and as you can see, it did not work. So I don't recommend these tips with this Flexihand. So before we cure this polygel, we want to add a thin layer of glitter, and I am using my glitter brush, and this brush I got from Beauty Big Bang. You can use my discount code Nona10 if you want. I will also try my best to find a link to this brush. It's my favorite brush for glitter. It does not have any polygel, it's not sticky, so you want to use a dry brush, because if you use the same brush that you use for the polygel, you're going to ruin the brush and you're going to get glitter everywhere. So make sure that your brush is nice and dry, because it allows the glitter to stick on to the polygel a lot better. But with this polygel, I did have to press hard for the glitter to get in there, because that's how firm this polygel was. So if you don't like the firmness of a polygel, then I probably won't recommend this to you. But if you do and you like the firmness, and you like a polygel that's not sticky and it's not too soft, then this is one for you. I definitely agree that this is really good for beginners, because it doesn't move anywhere and you tell it where it goes. And also, I got this glitter from a Facebook seller, and I'm just telling you right now, I'm getting tired of buying glitters when I ask if it's solvent resistant, and then when I try it, it's not solvent resistant. So yeah, this was kind of a set that was like, okay, I like it, but I was really disappointed that the hollow wasn't solvent resistant. So when I went to go cap it with my polygel, it completely took away the hollow effect. So I wasn't really happy about that, but I guess you can't have everything. But with this mylar I got from Pooh's Corner, she sent me a whole bunch of colors, and I just love this mylar. This one is the hot pink one, and all I did was I actually had to kind of cut it up a little bit, because there was a lot of big chunks in them. Now this is not made for nails, it's actually craft, but of course we use it for nails, and we love to cap everything on the nails. So if you was to start off on a client, I will recommend you to put a base gel first before you do this step. But because I'm just using my little flexi hand, I didn't file the nails down, and I didn't even put a base coat. I just went ahead with the polygel and I put it on there. But with your client or with yourself, you'd want to prep really good and use a base coat before you even touch the polygel. These hollow little circles and little dots I also got from Pooh's Corner in her mystery box, and I don't have any more of this, but it was so pretty. That one actually still showed its hollow, so I was really happy at least I had some type of hollow in this set. And one thing I did not like about this tube is I don't like no tubes. I don't like polygel in a tube. I really wish they would sell it in pots. Hint hint, if you're watching this, maybe you can make us a polygel in a pot, because I feel like for nail techs like me that actually do nails for a living, we struggle with squeezing this polygel out of the tubes. So if you're here listening to me, please somebody come up with polygel in a pot for me, because I have carpal tunnel and I suffer really bad from it. It's really bad. Sometimes my arm doesn't work, sometimes I squeeze too hard and I just can't. Oh my god, it just hurts so bad. So this polygel, because it was so firm, I struggled so much putting this polygel on this nail. So this purple glitter I got from Michaels, and it's a collection, Martha Stewart collection. It comes with like a 12-pack. The name of this glitter is Chariot, and it's a pretty, very glam color. I love this purple. I'm really feeling the purples and the blues. I just love them. But this glitter is really good. I really love the Martha Stewart glitters and the Recollection glitters from, acrylics and everything, because you don't have to worry about the glitters bleeding out and the color. There you go, So this glitter is really good. And as I went down with each finger, the polygel did heat up a little bit, so it did work a lot better when it was heated up. And I did also put the heat on in my nail studio, and it actually really worked better. And my nail studio is almost done, you guys. I am so excited and I can't wait to show you. I got a new studio light. Well, to me it's a studio light, but it's just a little lamp that helped me record. And I also got my certificates for polygel, so I can't wait to put that on my wall. I will show you when I get that, if you want to see my certificate for my polygel. It is so important to have certificates everywhere, especially if you're doing nails, you know, because then you can tell your clients, you know, this is what you're good at and everything. So it's always good to have something for you to keep working on what you want in your life. So I'm really proud of myself that I got that certificate. I feel like this Polygel is kind of in between. If you use the Azure and the Model 1s, it's a little bit more firm than the Azure and the Model 1s. So if to compare it to another brand. If you don't like the Azure and you don't like the Model 1s because it's too firm, you probably have a problem with this one, because this one it is very, very firm, but it's not bad that it's firm. I feel like you have more control in the Polygel because it's firm, at least with this Polygel. I didn't have a problem doing this. I did struggle with dragging the Polygel down, but I think that was just a combination of me using the wrong tips of my Flexihand and because my Polygel was frozen. So this is what it looks like when the Polygel is nice and warm. Right now, like I told you, my nail studio it's really cold outside, so my polygels are freezing. So I did do this little video for you to let you know that this is it is firm, but you can still work with it. Just heat it up a little bit and it works so nice. It blends all the way down, it stretches, it's so nice. Also, if you're creating bubbles, I would recommend you to pat down the Polygel instead of doing in circular motions. Drag and pat, and make sure that your brush is not saturated with the alcohol. If it's too liquidy, like if it has too much alcohol, it's just gonna over dry it. You're gonna lose the adhesion of the Polygel. You're gonna get some bubbles. So do the pat and drag motion. So in this part, I'm going to show you how I use this on a dual form. So it did go back to its original form and it did harden up way more. I really need one of those like scraper things to put on the Polygel so I don't have to sit here and struggle. But I'm going to show you how I put this on the dual form and use the spatula to drag it down. So I feel like this Polygel definitely works way better with dual forms because it is firm, and the spatula worked very well. You know how some polygels are a little bit too soft for this part, but this polygel was perfect for the dual form. So if you don't like doing your polygels the way I do them, you could always use dual forms and it works the same. So I don't know if you guys remember these little Fimo sticker things. They're not stickers, but they're called Fimo slices. I think they're Fimo. But I have so much of them and I'm really loving that I'm using them again. I really love nail art. I haven't really used nail art in such a long time because none of my clients really like all this stuff but me. I guess I'm the only one that likes trapping stuff, you know, under acrylic polygel and stuff, but I feel like it's so beautiful. I feel like it's different. So if you guys have any females out there and you like using them, I want to see some more videos with female. So I'm using this clear to go over the nails, and that's pretty much the last bit of it. Picking up my alcohol and flattening it down, and then I'm curing it in my mccart 36-watt lamp for about 60 seconds, and then we are done. So when it's time to scapulate with the polygel, I always take the polygel all the way from the top all the way to the bottom where that nail actually ends, because this polygel is firm. It is hard if you just put, you know, one drop in the middle and work your way down. You have to put the whole thing all the way down. So that's why I do it that way, so I can make sure that the polygel is going to cover all the glitter and it's going to cover the entire nail. And yes, I am struggling with this one because these tips don't work with this flexi hand, and that's why I struggle so much. So before I file, I am checking to see if my 36 watt lamp from mccart properly cured the polygel, and that's how you check to see if it sounds like a hard plastic. Then they're done, and now we're going to file. And then actually when we file, we want to make sure that we come with our alcohol pad or anything that's, you know, sanitizes the nails, and remove all the dust from the nails first before we apply our top coat, because if we don't, then that could actually like change the clarity of the polygels, or actually any gels and acrylics. So I know a lot of people like to use the dual form, so the purple one I used with a dual form, and the pink one I did on my own. Now the dual form does look, you know, a little clearer than the one I did by myself, and that's because it's dual form. But I honestly feel that they both have the same clarity on the polygel, and I just love the way they look. This is what it looks like when it's all done. I had topped it with azure top coat, and it's shiny and so clear. I love this. I don't think that it's my favorite, only because of my own preference. I don't like a polygel to be too firm, but this one I actually really enjoyed working with. Let me know how you feel. What do you think about this polygel? What don't you like about this polygel? I feel like at the end I made it work. I'm proud of myself, and these will look beautiful. So let me know what you think. I love you guys, and I will definitely see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.